Hi, greetings, fellow Whovians. Hoovie and Queen here. Hope you have a good week so far. Well, looking at 11 Dr. Era now continues on with another Christmas special, The Snowmen. So first, let's take a look at some prequels. To remember the special, 3 prequels were released. The first was broadcast during the 2012 Children in Need Telethon on November 16, 2012, titled The Great Detective. The Solarian Man of Vastra, your human wife Jenny Flint, at the Zataran Strax, described a number of strange phenomena to the 11th Doctor and tells the group he has retired. A second prequel titled Vastra Investigates was released online on December 17, 2012. At the end of a case, Vastra and Jenny converse with an officer from Scotland Yard and apologize for Strax's violent wishes for the culprit's punishment. Vastra explains Strax's origins as a clone warrior from outer space as well as her own as prehistoric intelligent reptile to the officer, much to his astonishment. Vastra reveals that she was awoken by an extension to the London Underground and initially disliked humans, though that changed when she fell in love with Jenny. On the carriage ride home, Jenny notices it's beginning to snow, and Vastra notes that the snow should be impossible because there are no clouds in the sky. A third prequel, titled The Battle of Demon's Run 2 days later, was released on the United States and Amazon video stores on March 25, 2013. 2 days after Strax's apparent death at Demon's Run, Vastra and Jenny convince him that he is not mortally wounded and invite him to accompany them back to 1800s London. The scene had been filmed as an extra due to the anticipation that fans would ask how Strax was resurrected and came to be in Vastra's employ. And now on to the actual episode itself. The Doctor has retired from saving people and uses his allies Vastra, Jenny, and Strax to keep away from him while he lives in the clouds above Earth. In 1892, Birdman Claire Osmond Oswald follows the Doctor, and the two of them are surrounded by snowmen created from snow with psychic properties. The Doctor realizes that Claire's thoughts are creating the snowmen and ends to start by instructing her to think of them melting. Claire returns to her other job as governess for Digby and Francesca Latimer. Francesca has been having horrible dreams about the previous governess returning from the dead. Claire realizes that the pond that contains the old governess's body is still the only thing frozen around them. She attempts to track down the Doctor and is taken to see Vastra. Vastra tells Clara she gets only one word to impress the Doctor with if she wants his help. Clara chooses the word pond, which arouses the Doctor's interest. The Doctor visits the Latimer family's pond. He realizes that the Great Intelligence, the entity controlling a man called Dr. Simeon since he was a boy, and the Snowmen, is using the old governess's body as a DNA blueprint to form an ice creature that will retain its form and not melt. And Claire puts Francesca to bed. The frozen body of the governess breaks into the house. The Doctor tries fleeing with Clara, but Clara is mortally wounded by the ice governess, which also shattered before Simeon can get the blueprint. The Doctor tricks Simeon into opening a tin holding a memory worm inside, which latches onto him. The Doctor says the Great Intelligence, which has been existing as a mirror of Simeon's thoughts, will vanish with the erasure of Simeon's memories by the worm. Instead, the Intelligence takes control of Simeon's body. The influence of the Great Intelligence quickly wanes, and Simeon falls dead. Outside, a saltwater rain has started, and the Doctor sees that another psychic ability has taken control of the snow from the Great Intelligence, the Latimer family, crying for Clara. At a funeral, the Doctor reads Clara's full name on her tombstone and realizes she is the same woman as Osmond, who died on the Daleks' asylum planet. The Doctor announces that a person dying twice is an impossibility and departs in the TARDIS to investigate and find Clara. So now let's take a look at some continuity surrounding this episode. The second Doctor previously encountered the Great Intelligence in the serials The Abominable Snowmen, set in the 1930s, and The Web of Fear, set in the 1960s. In these stories, the Great Intelligence uses Robot Yeti as its physical presence. The events of the Web of Fear are alluded to by the Doctor and the Snowmen when he presents the London Underground biscuit tin to the Great Intelligence at Dr. Simeon's laboratory. The Intelligence states, "I do not understand these markings," a reference to the 1967 London Underground map designed on the tin. The Doctor remarks that the Underground is the key strategic weakness in metropolitan living, referring to, and possibly setting in motion, the future Yeti attack on London via the Underground. Coleman previously played Oswald in Asylum with the Daleks, though the connection between the two characters is not clarified, so Clara reveals she has an interest in souffles, a trait that Oswin's character also had. The Doctor, after meeting Clara, whispering replies, "Those were the days." When she asks why he isn't staying to get acquainted with her, which are the same words he tells Craig Owens in closing time, where Craig comments that the Doctor always wins. The final scenes at the graveyard establish that Clara shares the same name as Oswin, leading the Doctor to surmise that they are the same person. As seen on her gravestone, Clara's birthday is November 23rd, the date Doctor Who was first transmitted in 1963. So now let's take a look at the production of this episode, beginning with the writing and design changes. Writer Stephen Moffat stated that he wanted an epic quality to the Christmas special. The story would also show how the Doctor had responded to losing his previous companions, Amy Pond and Rory Williams. Moffat stated that, quote, "I think he's probably reached a point in his life where he's saying, friendship for me is just postponed bereavement. I want to be on my own for a while." Moffat compared the withdrawn Doctor at the onset of the episode to the first appearances of the first Doctor in 1963 and the Ninth Doctor in 2005. He also attributed the idea of a retired Doctor to a plot proposed by Douglas Adams in the 1970s, but rejected by the production team at the time. Continuing the theme introduced with the series' first 5 episodes, The Snowmen was promoted like a movie. A movie poster was released in the Radio Times, showing the Doctor and Clara sending the ladder to the TARDIS. The episode saw several major design changes for the series. The Snowmen is the debut of a redesigned TARDIS interior, as well as a new title sequence and a variation of the theme tune. The new title sequence features a brief glimpse of the Doctor's face, the first time since Survival, the final series of the classic series in 1989, that the Doctor's face has been seen in the title sequence. Moffat noticed that the TARDIS's design was getting progressively whimsical and resembled more of a magical place rather than a machine. It was designed by series production designer Michael Pickwoad, who stated that the new interior was supposed to be darker and moodier and provide an easier access to the gallery of the ship when shooting. The Doctor also wears a one-off costume, Victorian-themed, which the Doctor's actor Matt Smith described as a bit of artful dodger meets the Doctor. Bob described the new outfit as a progression, as the Doctor was in a different phase of his life now and felt more grown-up and father-like. The costume was designed by Howard Birdman for this episode. The Snowman also contains several references to Sherlock Holmes, including the Doctor dressing up as Sim. Moffat is co-creator of the BBC series Sherlock, for which Smith auditioned for the role of Dr. Watson before being cast as the Doctor. In addition, the incidental music during the scene bears a resemblance to the Sherlock theme. Interesting. And now on to casting. This episode marks the return of Jenna-Louise Coleman, who briefly appeared in the series opener Asylum of the Daleks. Coleman was cast because of her chemistry with Matt Smith, especially because she was able to talk faster than he. She auditioned for the role of Clara, not also from Asylum, as the concept of the two characters being the same only occurred to Moffat whilst casting for Clara. The production team requested that the press and fans who attended advanced screenings kept Coleman's appearance a secret until Asylum was broadcast. The effort was ultimately successful. Moffat stated that the introduction of a new companion made the show feel different and brought the story to a new beginning, with a different person meeting the Doctor. Smith said that Clara was different from her predecessor Amy, which allowed the audience to see a different side of the Doctor. Coleman described her as resourceful and unintimidated, citing the reason for allowing the Doctor at the beginning as pursuing answers. The Clara who would become a traveling companion of the Doctor would not debut until the spring premiere at the Bells of St. John, save for a brief cameo at the end of The Snowmen. Coleman stated that she played each version as individuals with trust that there would be a payoff to her mystery. Also during the series are Nev McIntosh as Men of Astra, Dan Stark as Strax, and Katrin Stewart as Jenny. All three previously appeared in A Good Man Go to War, and reprised their roles both in this episode and in the prequels. They returned due to the popularity of Astra and Jenny. Moffat considered a spin-off featuring them, though he did not have the time to do it. Instead, he decided to bring them back in the main series. Richard E. Grant had previously played the Doctor on 2 occasions, as alternative 10th Doctor in the spoof charity special Doctor Who and the Curse of Fatal Death, which was written by Moffat, as an alternative 9th Doctor in the animated story Scream of the Shalka, which had been intended to be a continuation of the series before it was revived in 2005. Smith commented that Grant was, quote, born to play a Who villain. He pitches on the perfect level and tone. Grant's appearance in Doctor Who was teased by the BBC via Twitter, announcing his appearance at midnight, August 5th, 2012. Tom Ward was drawn to his role because of the quality of the script, and also stated his young children were pleased that he appeared in the program. The Great Intelligence was voiced by Sir Ian McKellen. The two children Clara was governess to, Digby and Francesca, were played by real-life brother and sister Joseph and Ellie Darcy Alden. And now finally, filming and effects. The Snowmen was originally intended to be in the fourth production block of the series and be the first episode Coleman shot as her character. However, it did not begin filming until the week of August 6, 2012, after Coleman had worked on later episodes while Moffat was writing the Christmas special. The read-through had taken place on August 2nd, 2012, sorry. This was the first Christmas special to be filmed in BBC New Wales' New Orthodox Studios. Scenes featuring Coleman and several guest stars in a Victorian setting were filmed in Newport, Wales, while Coleman and Smith were also spotted filming in Bristol 2 weeks later on August 21st. Some scenes which used snow props were filmed in Portland Square, Bristol, where filming took place overnight on August 21st and 22nd, 2012. Bristol was chosen because it had Victorian-era architecture. Prequels stated that his favorite set is the London street with the back of the pub, which set was based on a 16th century building in Oxford. The locations were blocked off and sprayed with fake snow. The Tarzan and Cloud was achieved through a mix of fog on the studio floor and post-production special effects. Director Saul Metzines explained that it was difficult to achieve the desired look for the snowmen. The first was he likened to Zippy from Rainbow, which was too cute in appearance, and so the effects team created more menacing CGI faces. Claire's introduction to the TARDIS introduced two novel effects for the show. The first was a single-shot camera tracking from a few feet away from the TARDIS's interior, with the implication of the TARDIS's transdimensional nature shown to the audience. The following shot, the camera does a complete circle of the TARDIS console, an effect not seen since the early days of the show. Messi wanted to include this shot to further emphasize the bigger on the inside than the outside nature of the time machine. In addition to the 3 prequel mini-episodes, the cast also filmed an additional promotional video, Sung Tong and Carols, which BBC uploaded during the days leading up to the broadcast. The video features Starkey singing modified versions of several Christmas songs and character as Strax as his castmates look on, but everyone breaks character and begins laughing. Yeah, I can see how that would be pretty hilarious, so yeah. So overall, this again is a really good Christmas special, and while it's not my personal favorite, I still enjoy it anyway, so yeah. So overall, I give The Snowmen 4 sonic screwdrivers out of 5. Well, I hope you enjoyed the review, and if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it around. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified about my upload videos. And if you want to help support this channel, then be sure to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in the description below. Anyway, until next time, this is Hoovy and Queen saying, oh, and also don't forget to tune next week as we take a look at the first episode of the second half of Series 7, The Bells of St. John. So, until then, this is Hoovy and Queen saying, oh my giddy aunt! When I say run! I've arrested polarity in the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly, baby? Fantastic! Allons-y! Geronimo! Bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, and Stetsons are cool.